Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Hawaii Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
And aloha! Welcome to the BlueNote Fan Report. I'm Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, your host with the most. And today I'm joined by Jeremy the Fox Miller, my producer extraordinaire. Got Lance, the Drop Hockey Podcast, joining us, and the ever-present Gabriel Foley from The Last Word on Hockey. Okay, guys, I'm trying to keep it light and uplifted, but we're in trouble. We're in trouble. We're remembering Bobby with all this, and Gabriel, I know I haven't had a chance to talk to you about that. We'll get to that really quick. We'll get to that, but let's talk about what's going on with the game. Lance, I want to know what you're thinking, what your opinion is on what you're seeing right now.
I really love the fact the Blues are getting not only just more shots on goal. I don't think they could have been much worse than they were the other night against Vegas when they only had 16 total and 3 in the third period and the other 13 between the two other periods. I think they're getting better opportunities. I think they're getting in front of the net better. I do think sometimes, though, that they tend to shoot the puck right into the goalie's chest, which I think is another thing they're doing tonight. But Talbot's made some good saves. The Blues have had the opportunities, and I'm happy with that. But the defensive breakdowns, when Blay didn't take his guy on that first goal, and, you can blame Jordan a little bit for that second goal, but that guy's a sharpshooter. If he has an inch to put that puck in there, he's going to be able to put it in. So you can put some of that on Jordan, because, he hasn't faced many shots. And like I've said before, you want shots. You want to get into the game. You don't want to have to face 50 shots, but you'd at least like to face 8 to 12 a period. But overall, the offensive way, this team looks much better. Has it come to give them any goals? No. But I think if they continue to play like this, they're going to get some opportunities in the third period, and they must keep taking shots. They can't be passing it back and forth too much. If you're open, take a shot and make sure there's guys in front of the net for a rebound or guys in front of the net for a deflection.
Oh, I absolutely believe you. And that's the one thing that I think I've seen the big negative is I have not seen a lot of net front presence, right? There's been no rebound shots. There hasn't been a lot of that. Gabriel, welcome back to the program, man. I know you had to abruptly leave last time, but I'm so glad you could come back. So welcome.
I appreciate you guys having me back. I'm sorry I had to jump out of the last one a bit prematurely, but we found the time.
No,
we made it.
Yeah, life happens, man. Life happens. So
hey, Gabriel,
we've been celebrating Bobby's life. Oh, go ahead.
It's not the amount of time you spend; it's the quality of the amount of time you spend. So
exactly,
we're happy to have you back. And I'm sorry, Guy, I just had to tell Gabriel that.
We had a good time too.
Right, no problem. Gabriel's becoming a big fan of the show, and I appreciate that. For coming from the senior editor of Last Word on Hockey, that means I'm doing something right, so I'll take it. So, Gabriel, what do you think? What's your impressions or what's your memories of Bobby? I mean, I've been wiping tears away for days.
Yeah, Bobby did so much for hockey, not obviously in St. Louis, but up here in Peoria too. I mean, he's a legend. I'm pretty sure his face is around the rink a few times. I never met him, unfortunately. I'm kicking myself for it now because everyone says how amazingly nice and warm he was meeting him. Every story I hear about him is incredible. And, that includes my parents. They were season ticket holders when he was the coach down here. It was their first year where they truly got into hockey, and being able to interact with Bobby, meet him, he really welcomed them into the sport. They were new to it. Bobby was, even as a head coach of a very successful Urban team, back then. They won the championship that year, and they went on 18 game win streak during that season to set a then record, which was incredible. And yeah, just the stuff that Bobby did for St. Louis, for Peoria, and really genuinely for my own hockey career. I mean, I wouldn't have played hockey if my parents weren't obsessed with it, and they wouldn't be obsessed with that without Bobby. So he's impacted every level of hockey in the Midwest. And
Yeah, and Jeremy, I want to thank you for mentioning Peoria. A lot of people forget that about him, how successful he was in there. So thank you so much for mentioning that.
Yeah, I kind of agree there. You know, Peoria was an important part there because Peoria is where he had Chase and Twist and I forget the goalie's name. I mean, he had some really, I mean, he really created some Blues. Yeah, and I know Jackman's being interviewed now. Unfortunately, you know, I'm not going to play those interviews because I really want to get everybody's impressions of the game so far. I mean, Jeremy, I want to get your impression. There's been 2 fights, the couple of the hip checks and things like that. But when you look at the game, you're out shooting them 23-8 or 22-8, 11 shots in the chest, and you're losing 2-0.
Yes, 11 shots in the chest, but 1 to the mask. Can't forget that one.
Yeah.
Talbot stopped one with his face. That was fantastic.
He was doing a good job of keeping his eye on the puck.
Yes. You know, the 2 goals that the 2 goals that the Wild scored, you know, the goal by Marcus Johansson and Kaprizov's goal. The Johansson one, Bennington really couldn't do much about. Kaprizov.
That was Wallman. That was absolutely Wallman there, not being where he should have been and trying to get back.
Well, you know, you've also got to put a little bit of blame on Blay because Blay was there too, and instead of falling back and taking him, he headed towards the middle of the ice too. So there's several people at fault for that one.
But the Kaprizov one, that was just Kirill. Yeah. And I have a soft spot, obviously, for him because I did an article on him. But he's that good. But there's another guy knocking on that Calder Trophy door, and it's the guy from New York, Oliver Wahlstrom.
Yep.
Yeah.
With Anders Lee out, Wahlstrom's come in, and now he's right on Kaprizov's backside. So that's why I think Cappy needed this one to get Wahlstrom off of him. But I'm hoping the Blues come back and get some goals, get some, you know, conversions off these shots. But I don't know.
I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. And Gabriel, I want to ask you about this because this is becoming a issue with the Blues, giving up a goal early on shots, not maybe in the game, but on early shots. And it's not just Husso. Bennington gave up the goal on his 3rd shot. And then the lack of net front presence. So what, other than Parayko, what are we missing or what are we not doing to get better net front presence or to solve some of these defensive breakdowns?
Real quick, just to acknowledge Ashley. Yeah, he's obsessive right now. I don't know what's wrong with him. Usually he's sleeping right now, but I guess he wanted to join. Parayko's huge. It's energy. It really is. The Blues are getting suffocated tonight. Once Vegas got going, the Blues were completely out of their depth. They're missing the spunk that makes them the St. Louis Blues. And I think, you know, you saw it on the Kaprizov goal, where Kaprizov just, you know, his pace was too much to keep up with for Krug. The rush that, you know, he got the puck off of was just too much for the Blues to handle. I've been really let down by the energy that the Blues are outputting in these last few games. I think it's that extra oomph that makes the Blues such an amazing team that's just ever so slightly missing. And I don't know how to get it back. Maybe Parayko coming back will help things out. Maybe Barbashev coming back. I think he has a week or two at least left on
he's
his
close.
injury.
Yeah.
But he surprised me to start the year, especially when he played next to O'Reilly and Perron. So maybe him coming back will do it. There's something missing for sure.
Yeah, and sorry.
No, go.
And Pareko, his defensive skills are missing. He's normally pretty good with the puck. He's got a great shot. Normally not a big physical guy, but what I see is missing is guys willing to go to that net and take punishment. If you go to the net, even in today's NHL, you're going to pay for it. Either right after your goalie makes a save, you're going to be knocked down to the ice, you're going to get a mitt to your face, or even while the play's going on. I just don't think there's enough guys trying to do that. There's too many guys out in the perimeter trying to make these perfect passes and these perfect moves. By all means, pass the puck. By all means, try to get the best shot. But make sure there's people in front of the goalie. Make sure that there's somebody there to try to deflect it or something. Because if a goalie sees a puck, these are NHL goalies. They're going to make most of those saves. Unless you have a sniper that just knows how to score, they're going to make those saves. It's all about traffic in front of the net.
I read a tweet. I think it was from Jeremy Rutherford. He said lately he's noticed a lot of teams taking bad angled shots on Bennington.
Yeah, they are.
So maybe they've caught something, and that was a bad angled shot that Krill took. And maybe they're noticing that Bennington's getting too high with his arm or something and giving that hole there. But if that's the case, then someone needs to start boxing out better to take away those bad angled shots, or Bennington really needs to work on that. Because this is a team that should not be losing 2-0 in a game. You're taking 20 shots and you've given up 8. That's all there is to it. I'm shaking my head. I don't want to get too down on the boys, but you've taken 24 shots and you've put 11 in the chest. That's it. It doesn't do you any good. And there's no one around the net if he does drop it. So, it's just, I'm sitting here shaking a little bit at trying to figure out what we need to do. So I'm throwing my hands up in the air because I'm not sure what's going on. And I'm at the point, we do have 2 of those snipers at least, Tarasenko, Hoffman, and arguably Perron. I agree with that. Greg says in the chest, and you're right, this is where I say coaching is failing us. And maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems if you're taking 20 shots and not scoring, figure something else out here. Okay, guys, we're shooting in the wrong area. Shoot towards the pad, shoot it on the ice, shoot it towards the crossbar. If you miss, that's fine, but let's get out of this zone.
Yeah.
And that's what.
And Talbot can be beat. He's not the greatest glove side, whether it's low glove side, high glove side. He can be beat glove side, but I've seen very few shots to the glove side. A lot of them are to his blocker side or his chest, or they're trying to go 5-hole. And he's pretty good with the 5-hole too. And, everybody went on the other night how great the Blues played in the first 2 periods against Vegas. Well, I look at it differently. And if you listen to my podcast, you understand what I'm saying, is they were treading water in those first 2 periods. They were keeping Vegas out from doing what they're supposed to be doing, but there was no offensive push. They were always backing up. They weren't forcing the play onto Vegas. Vegas was forcing it onto them, and then the Blues were reacting. And you can't be a team that reacts.
Minnesota's had 7 D zone turnovers. We've had 2, and they've got 2 goals. That's you have a D zone turnover. You've got to capitalize on those, especially 7 of them. That's just, man, I'm shaking my head, and it's frustrating to sit here and talk to you guys, and then when we're remembering Bobby at the same time, and he's getting fleas and flies. I love it. So Gabriel, as you're watching this, and you, with last word on hockey and some of the stories that you're going, did you guys put out a story on Bobby at all that people would want to go read or something? And I honestly don't know. I'm being honest.
We did a small news article when the news broke, but we haven't put anything out yet. I didn't want to put anything out for Last Word or for St. Louis Game Time. Dan Buffa did write a article for St. Louis Game Time that's incredible, typical Buffa style. With on Last Word, some of our writers are looking into it. I with stuff like this, I really want them to take their time and appreciate it. And so I'm all right if it comes out this weekend or something. If that does happen, I will advertise the heck out of it. It'll be
and let me know, and I'm sure that you'll do the same. Because what I did, I released a 2-word statement. Bobby died. And for older people, they might get it, but that was an homage to what the British royalty did when Princess Diana had her car accident. They released 2-word statement, Diana's dead. Diana's dead. That's it. And to me, Bobby was our royalty. And that's all we needed to say at that moment was that. And then I am going to sit down and write something about him because it needs to be talked about, the royalty that we've lost and the hole, the banner size hole that is in this organization's heart.
I told my writers last night when the news broke, I said, this is the biggest news in St. Louis hockey history, not in Blues history, in the history of St. Louis hockey. I truly think we've lost the head of St. Louis hockey.
Yes.
And, I'm completely with you there, is we lost our king.
Okay. Well, guys, we're just about out of time. Game's almost back on. God, I wish I wasn't in such a delay. The last thing that I want you guys to think about before we go to post game, if you come on to post game, how do we go forward? Right? We've lost the biggest ambassador that we had. This is not just a physical presence loss. This is a mental, emotional presence, and it's also going to take away some of what the organization's power was in the community. We need to get that back. Well, how do we get that back? And maybe it's the fans that are going to have that answer, and that's why I want to bridge that question. I hope that's a okay question to ask. Right? So, guys, it's that time. I'll see you at the post-game show if I can figure the right button.